Wilde's life has been the subject of numerous biographies since his death. The earliest were memoirs by those who knew him. Often they are personal or impressionistic accounts which can be good character sketches, but are sometimes factually unreliable. Frank Harris, his friend and editor, wrote a biography, Oscar Wilde, His Life and Confessions, 1916. Though prone to exaggeration and sometimes factually inaccurate, it offers a good literary portrait of Wilde. Lord Alfred Douglas wrote 3 books about his relationship with Wilde, Oscar Wilde and Myself, 1914. Largely ghostwritten by T.W.H. Crossland, vindictively reacted to Douglas's discovery that De Profundis was addressed to him and defensively tried to distance himself from Wilde's scandalous reputation. Both authors later regretted their work. Later, in Oscar Wilde, A Summing Up, 1939, and his autobiography, Douglas was more sympathetic to Wilde. Of Wilde's other close friends, Robert Sherard, Robert Ross, his literary executor, and Charles Ricketts variously published biographies, reminiscences, or correspondence. The first, more or less objective biography of Wilde came about when Hesketh Pearson wrote Oscar Wilde, His Life and Wit, 1946. In 1954, Wilde's son, Vivian Holland, published his memoir, Son of Oscar Wilde, which recounts the difficulties Wilde's wife and children faced after his imprisonment. It was revised and updated by Merlin Holland in 1989. Later on, I think everyone will recognize his achievements. His plays and essays will endure. Of course, you may think with others that his personality and conversation were far more wonderful than anything he wrote, so that his written works give only a pale reflection of his power. Perhaps that is so, and of course it will be impossible to reproduce what is gone forever. Robert Ross, 23 December 1900. Oscar Wilde, A Critical Study by Arthur Ransome, was published in 1912. The book only briefly mentioned Wilde's life, but subsequently Ransome and the Times Book Club were sued for libel by Lord Alfred Douglas. At the High Court in London in April 1913, Douglas lost the libel action after a reading of De Profundis refuted his claims. Richard Ellman wrote his 1987 biography, Oscar Wilde, for which he posthumously won a National U.S. Book Critics Circle Award in 1988 and a Pulitzer Prize in 1989. In 1997, it was the basis for the British film Wilde, directed by Brian Gilbert and starring Stephen Fry as the title character. Neil McKenna's 2003 biography, The Secret Life of Oscar Wilde, offers an exploration of Wilde's sexuality. Often speculative in nature, it was widely criticized for its pure conjecture and lack of scholarly rigor. Thomas Wright's Oscar Books, 2008, explores Wilde's reading from his childhood in Dublin to his death in Paris. After tracking down many books that once belonged to Wilde's Tite Street Library, dispersed at the time of his trials, Wright was the first to examine Wilde's marginalia. In 2018, Matthew Sturgis's Oscar Life was published in London. The book incorporates rediscovered letters and other documents, and is the most extensively researched biography of Wilde to appear since 1988. Rupert Everett starred as Wilde in and wrote the screenplay for The Happy Prince, 2018, a biographical drama film about Wilde following his release from prison. Parisian Literary also produced several biographies and monographs on him. André Gide wrote In Memoriam, Oscar Wilde, and Wilde also features in his journals. Thomas Lewis, who had earlier translated books on Wilde into French, produced his own Les Spirits d'Oscar Wilde in 1920. Modern books include Philippe Julien's Oscar Wilde and Les Affaires Oscar Wilde, ou du danger de l'air la justice mettre les nez dans nos draps, The Oscar Wilde Affair, or On the Danger of Allowing Justice to Put Its Nose in Our Sheets, by Odin Vallet, a French religious historian. Thank you for joining Bite at a Time Books Behind the Story today, while we answered some of the questions you have about one of your favorite classic authors. Again, my name is Bree Carlile, and I hope you join us next time when we answer more questions about one of your favorite classic authors. If you enjoyed our show, be sure to follow us so you get all the new episodes. We would also love for you to drop us a rating on your favorite podcast platform. You can catch us on all the social medias at Bite at a Time Books, or check out our website, biteatatimebooksbehindthestory.com, where you can sign up for our newsletter. Our show is part of the Bite at a Time Books Productions Network. If you would also like to hear a story by the author we are currently featuring, check out the Bite at a Time Books podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, or on biteatatimebooks.com.